Hurricane? More like a hurricane in my ass. At the time of recording this, it is Wednesday morning, and unfortunately, yeah, we're already starting to feel the effects of Hurricane Milton. As I had said in a previous video, I have no idea what sites are reliable or which ones are going to provide the most accurate computer models. I'll just go with WFLA, gosh, for some reason I can't say that name. Yeah, you know, so here's their model here. It says it's going to be about a category 4 around the time that it's going to be making landfall at 2 a.m. on Thursday. Well, like, why is there ads all over the place? There's one here, there's like one over here, there's one down here. How much money do y'all need? Anyway, yeah, apparently it's going to be making landfall as like a category 4. And just for context, I live right next to Tampa, okay? So like, here's Tampa. I live like right above it. And obviously on a map, it's, you know, it's kind of hard to put into words how close I am in context to this map. But I can get to Tampa in maybe like a 45-minute drive. And if you know anything about maps, 45 minutes north of Tampa, like that's nothing. I'm inside of this cone, basically. Obviously, the most ideal situation would be for this storm to F off and go south and completely miss everybody and just stay in the Atlantic. Obviously, realistically, that would never happen. But in terms of like the least amount of casualties, what they're saying is that the best possible scenario is for this thing to keep going south and completely miss the bay, because if it keeps going south, yes, there's still going to be hundreds of thousands of people affected, and that is very unfortunate. Like, basically everybody south of, basically everything south of this line, like wherever the hurricane ends up hitting, everything south is going to get hit. So the further north it goes, the more dangerous it's going to be for more people, especially if it ends up hitting the bay, because that's just going to send an influx of water and storm surges into, you know, just more Florida. At this current point in time, I'm not really worried. I don't talk about this often just because, I mean, there's not really a reason to bring up my religion often, but, you know, I'm wholeheartedly a Christian, and it's one of those things where I know that this is all just part of God's plan for me, and I'm not gonna lie, I've been thinking about moving out of Florida for a while, so if something does, you know, I'm not saying that I want this to happen, of course not, I do not want this to happen at all, but if something disastrous would happen, and like me or my home would get hurt or destroyed in some way, then hey, maybe that's just a very strong message from God saying, hey, yeah, you know how you've been thinking about moving out of Florida for a while? Yeah, it's time to do that, buddy. Furthermore, if something really tragic would happen and I would end up dying or losing my life for some reason as a result of this hurricane, then I mean, you know, it's one of those things where, yes, I am young, I'm only in my 20s, but when it's my time, it's my time. It doesn't matter how old or young you are. When it's your time to go, it's, you know, it's your time to go. Of course, I don't want that to happen. I mean, Black Ops 6 comes out in just a little over 2 weeks, and I want to be alive long enough to experience that game, but at the same time, I mean, hey, you know, I've made my peace with death. You know, everybody dies at some point. I'm not afraid of it. When it happens, it happens. There's nothing I can do about it, and that's just how it is. That being said, if the storm could end up hitting further south and, you know, not destroy me or my area, that would be great, because Black Ops 6 comes out in 2 weeks, and I'd really like to play the game. Thank you. I know there's probably going to be some people that are like, oh man, why didn't you evacuate? And, well, there's two reasons. One, money is tight, but two, it's literally impossible to evacuate. I mean, if I wanted to evacuate now, it would literally be impossible, and even if I would have decided to a couple of days ago, I mean, again, it literally would have been impossible. The highways are so backed up at this point that if you try to leave Florida now, you're probably going to be stuck on that highway while you're trying to evacuate. And furthermore, like I said before, not only is money tight, but all the gas stations around here have literally been running out of gas. So there's been people that have been running out of gas as they've been trying to evacuate, and they've just been stuck on the highway, and since all the areas around them are out of gas, yeah, I mean, it's been a bit of a disaster to say the very least. So I can either be stranded on a highway and die by my car getting flipped and then, you know, dying in a horrible accident, or I could, you know, take my chances inside of my home, which I've already made multiple precautions to make sure that my home is at least somewhat secure. I've said this many times before, if I'm gonna die, I would like to die inside of my home, happy, doing what I love. So in my case, I'm gonna be starting up another playthrough of Resident Evil 4 later, and I'm gonna play through that until either my power gets knocked out or I get sucked up in the hurricane, because then at least if I die or something terrible happens, I'm doing it while happy. My PS2 is hooked up at all times, so it'll be a real easy thing. I just open up the lid, pop in Resident Evil 4, and we'll see what happens. Why does it take so long to get into matches, dude? I've been waiting for, like, Lord only knows how long to get into this match. If I'm gonna be honest, I'm not even worried about myself. I'm just worried about my family more than anything. As many of you know, I have 3 younger siblings. However, one of them doesn't live with us. He lives up north in Pennsylvania, so, you know, he's completely out of the, you know, the way of hurricanes and stuff. His only worries are, like, really bad snowstorms in the winter, but obviously that's different from, like, full-blown hurricanes. However, my other 2 younger siblings obviously also live in Florida, and, you know, they're only ages 9 and 3, so they're really young. They have their whole lives ahead of them, and I really just don't want anything terrible to happen to them. Me, like I said before, you know, I'm in my 20s. I've lived a life, I'll say that. If you know my past, if you know my history, you know I've lived one heck of a life, one that I'm not proud of in many instances, one where I've experienced some things that I definitely probably, you know, most people probably shouldn't have, but it is what it is. Those things lent to me being a stronger person in the end, having more life experience. Even if it means that I kind of, in a way, grew up faster or aged faster than most people probably should have, like, in terms of, like, at an accelerated rate. You know, again, it's just, it is what it is. Those things happened, and I'm happy that I have those life lessons and experience, because now at the end of the day, I'm just a stronger and more experienced person because of it. And, you know, in that same way, I've also just made my peace with death. So if something would, again, ever happen to me, it is what it is. I've made my peace with that. However, those kids, you know, again, they're so young that they don't even fully understand or can grasp the concept of death, especially, you know, the younger one that's only like 3 years old. Like, it would genuinely destroy me if anything would happen to them or my mother. Plunder has always been one of those funny modes for me, because it's like, you know, obviously when you're playing the mode, you don't really need any of the loot, because you spawn in with your loadouts right off the rip, so you don't really need to worry about saving up for a loadout drop. It's literally just an infinite game of looting and doing contracts and hoping that you can get more money before the enemy does. I really hope my mom's able to stay safe through all this too, because, you know, I've talked about this before, but my mom had me when she was only a teenager, so it's always been this really funny thing between me and her, where it's like, yeah, she's my mom, but if anything, it's always been more like, I don't necessarily want to just say like older sister energy or like best friend energy, but that's kind of what it is, just because me and her have a lot in common, just because there's not much of like an age disparity between us. Like, if she would have had me just a few years earlier, this is crazy to say, but we would have been a part of the same generation. I don't know, it's just some really weird feelings right now, because like, I know some people are absolutely panicked about this storm or worried in one way or another, but I'm not. Like, I'm really not worried about this storm. Like, I don't have any anxiety about it. It's just one of those things where I want to know what's gonna happen. You know what I mean? Like, I want the storm to just come and go already, so that I can kind of like know what the end result is gonna be, but I'm not actually like dreading it or am anxious about it really in any real way, because again, 100% of my faith and my trust is in the Lord. Whatever his plan is whatever his plan is. Whatever ends up happening is whatever ends up happening. I just want to be at the point where I know what's gonna happen, if that makes sense. But truly inside of my heart, not too worried about it. Whatever happens, happens. We'll see. I always felt like it's a little pointless to sit there worrying and stressing about stuff anyway, even beyond religion and all that, because it's just like, well, what's that gonna do for you? You know, you can sit there panicking, worrying all you want, and I know, like, to a certain extent, it's like, well, you know, you can't really control it, but at the same time, that's not exactly true, because a lot of people do underestimate just how much control and power they actually do have over their own minds and feelings and such. Like, you'd be surprised how easy it is to manipulate your own thoughts and feelings if you actually try. And my teammates are getting absolutely destroyed. Literally all 3 of them are down. Why do y'all suck so bad? I'm just kidding. I'm no better. I absolutely suck at Warzone 2. It's all good. We're literally in 18th place right now. Like, I'm not even trying. This is just so you guys have something stimulating to watch in the background while I talk, because, I mean, you know, if I try to play normal Battle Royale right now, no, that's just not happening. With my ADHD, I'm either completely focused on the game, completely focused on my commentary, or there's like a 50-50 split between the two, and if I try to do a 50-50 split of my attention while playing Battle Royale and commentating, one of them is going to suffer, and it's going to be the gameplay, and when it comes to Battle Royales, that is absolutely detrimental to the gameplay, obviously. That being said, I'm obviously still doing much better than my teammates who have been getting destroyed this whole time, so I mean, I really don't know what that says. But if you just harness all that energy and put it into, you know, like all the energy and time that you spend worrying, being anxious, talking about how anxious you are, you could put into, you know, making preparations or just doing something to take your mind off of it, or honing that energy into changing your mindset in the first place. You know, as somebody that has crippling anxiety, depression, PTSD, OCD, ADHD, I can tell you firsthand that yes, it is an everyday war and struggle with my mind. And it really just comes down to how committed you are to actually changing your mindset and trying to combat it and still trying to feel a semblance of normal, or at least just stability. I feel like that's the key word there, because too many people focus on trying to feel normal or trying to do one thing or another. This guy is AFK. I'm gonna take a free kill and some money. Thank you. Too many people are focused on the idea of feeling quote unquote normal, when really everybody's version of normal is completely different. So the endless chase of feeling normal or chasing a norm is completely pointless. Never chase normality or perfection. Just chase a status of stability for you, yourself, and your loved ones, or anybody around you that, you know, you have some sort of control over where they're at. Like, say if you're a parent, or say if you're you know, if you're in a complicated situation where you, oh, hold on.
Enemy soldier incoming.
I'm not dying. I don't care what happens. Okay, there's precision airstrike coming in. Running away. I guess dude just gave up on killing me. But if you're like an aunt or an uncle or an older sibling or whatever, like if you're in a position where things that you do or your status as whatever affects somebody else in some way, just do whatever you can to ensure at least some kind of stability or the best amount of stability as possible, or just living in an ideal state for you and those loved ones that you have some sort of, you know, effect on in some way. And that's really all you can do. That's the absolute best you can do. One of my favorite sayings that I came up with a couple of years ago, and it's a saying that I actually say to myself all the time just to help myself calm down whenever I feel like I'm not doing good enough, is doing what you can is all that you can do. Like I said, I came up with that saying like a year or two ago, and it is one of my favorite sayings that I've ever come up with, because you guys know me, I'm kind of philosophical. I like coming up with those cool little quotes, but that was one where I was like, you know what, that's actually really good, and I tell it to myself on like a daily basis, because, you know, I never let it show through in the videos too much. That's just not who I am. I like having an aura of positivity and, you know, like, what's the word? Like, yippity, let's go-ness, you know what I mean? Just always keeping the vibes good, always moving forward, being motivational, that's the word, you know, it just being motivational in a way. But even for a guy like me, yeah, I won't lie, there's even days for me where it's like, yeah, you know, even if I sit there working for 12 hours straight on, you know, all my different videos for the 4 YouTube channels I run and maintaining the businesses that I run on the side and stuff, and, you know, even if I've had a really good day, I still sit there like, man, did I do enough today, even after I get done working for like 12 to 14 hours straight? And I mean, like, you know, again, I do have a lot of those conditions like ADHD and such, which probably lean into that. As I said before, doing what you can is all that you can do. So as long as you're doing what you need to get done, and, you know, you're living your best life, or the best life that you possibly can at the moment, and just making sure that you're keeping yourself and your loved ones happy, then that's all that matters. And even if you're not necessarily happy at the moment, as long as you're in the pursuit of happiness, that's a fantastic movie, by the way, but as long as you're in the, you know, the pursuit of happiness, or in the pursuit of bettering yourself in some way, or getting to where you at least want to be at, then that's all that matters. You know, I hate when people say, oh, better yourself, because obviously everybody's version of bettering themselves is going to be different, because I feel like once you start to say, oh, you need to better yourself in this way or another, you need to fix your diet, you need to fix this or that, you know, again, everybody's version of what's going to be better is going to be completely subjective and different. So don't worry about like bettering yourself in the context of, you know, the norms of like, you know, what everybody else would expect when you or they say bettering themselves or changing themselves. Just, you know, work towards getting to wherever you want to be at, whatever your goals are, whatever your dream lifestyle or location is. Hold up. Thank you. As long as you're spending as much time of your life chasing your dream life, then that's all that matters. But also don't make the same mistakes that I have, where you overwork yourself and you spend so much time chasing your dream life that you forget to live real life. Again, it's all about that healthy balance, but that in itself, healthy balance isn't all that conversation for another day, but still, just wanted to spread at least some positivity, since I know there was some underlying negativity in this video. I don't even know what I've been doing at this point. Like, I'm running around trying to find people to shoot, trying to find stuff to loot up, but again, it's one of those things where when I start talking, it's just, I completely go on autopilot. But hey, if you've been watching the channel for more than even 1 or 2 videos at this point, then you should already know that. You should already know what to expect. And a self-revive kit, not like I'll need it, because it seems like this lobby's completely full of bots. With how long it took for this lobby to fill up, I wouldn't be surprised if there's literally no SBMM in here, and it's literally just whatever players that you could cobble together, because every gunfight I've been in has been, like, you know, not sweaty so far. I'm so glad I went for shifting grid camo. This camo is actually so cool. Like, I was looking at it before, like, hey, you know, it's cool, I might go for it, but no, yeah, I'm really glad I went for this one. Got a bounty contract out here. Let's see, how far away are they? Yeah, you know what, I'll go for it. Right now, I'm rocking the Price Nemesis skin, and this is one of my favorite skins to rock. Not only does it look cool, obviously, because it's like the whole Nemesis thing with the glowy effects and all that, but I also just love playing as Captain Price. Like, his voice and his lines of the game are so cool. Like, his and Ghost, there's something about that gravelly voice that I absolutely love, and I'm so jealous, because I can, like, they just have it naturally, but for me, like, Bravo 6, go, like, I can't even do it if I wanted to. Got a guy over here, I'm just gonna lock in and get easy kill. That's what I'm saying, dude. Half the people in this match are either, like, AFK or just not trying in some way or another. I'm getting shot from somewhere, no clue where, but it is what it is. Hopefully I can self-res real quick. Oh, no, yeah, he's on the rooftops over there. Whatever. Oh, well, it is what it is. The match is in overtime, so it's about to end anyway. Anyways, yeah, that's where we'll kind of leave it for now. I know I said in one of the previous videos that, like, you know, I'm not going to make any more videos on Hurricane Milton or talk about it anymore, but you know, again, it's one of those things where, you know, the hurricane, its path hasn't exactly moved, so if something crazy would happen, I'd rather, you know, have that peace of mind of knowing, hey, I at least warned you guys about it, rather than having to sit there in my dying moments and be like, man, I wish I could have told my, you know, my community about this, but instead I'm gonna die and nobody's really gonna know why. So again, I don't make these videos out of attention, be like, oh man, feel bad for me, be scared for me. It's like, dude, I'm the one living in Florida. I made this choice. I know what I got myself into. I knew there was gonna be hurricanes. I've lived through, what, 4 or 5 hurricanes? This is like my 5th or 6th hurricane now that I've endured while living here. So it's just one of those things where I'm trying to strike a balance between not saying too much to come across as like, you know, trying to be clickbaity or trying to go for views, because that's obviously, I do not care about any of that. But at the same time, I also want to be transparent and be like, hey, there's this issue going on, so if you don't hear from me, that would be why. I feel like I feel like it would be more disrespectful for me to not say anything rather than at least warn you guys about it, because you guys are like my family, so, you know, I feel like it's only right that you guys are kept in the loop and know what's going on. But anyways, yeah, the hurricane is starting to set in, the rain and the winds are starting to come through, and I'm sure it's only going to get worse as the day goes on. So obviously you have this video today, and then by tomorrow morning, tomorrow's going to be a little rough. It's going to be making landfall sometime tonight, and then it's going to be ripping through Florida basically for the entire day tomorrow. So there's a chance that the only video you get from me tomorrow is like a real choppy video recorded off of my phone and me being like, hey guys, I'm alive, and that's it. But hopefully by Friday we'll be back to the regularly scheduled program per se. And there's a new Call of Duty event coming out later today at the time of me recording this, so I'm gonna try to knock that out before the storm knocks me or my power out. And then as long as all goes well, then yeah, the next time you guys will see me will be me making a video on that event. But until then, thank you for listening to my rambling session, and if you're located in Florida or any of the other like places that have been hit by this hurricane, I'm sending nothing but prayers and love your way, and I'm hoping that all of you are safe or are recovering well out there. But anyway, as always, massive shout out, thank you to all the Patrons and channel members, thank you to all of you in the low baller tier, and an even bigger shout out, thank you to all of you in the big baller tier, Mellow Lasking and Big Daddy Mandy, and the biggest shout out, thank you to all of you in the G tier, Run Event, some Cheese Girl, thank you guys so much, you guys are literal legends, I love you. Have an amazing day, stay beautiful, I love you all, peace.